Good morning everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Maz and today I'm with this white F-Type in the Forest of Dean. This car is a Phase 1 F-Type V6, and of course there is my personal F-Type over there. Luckily the people at Eagle Cars have kindly lent me this F-Type to give a test drive and see how much of a difference it is compared to the P300. So I'm not going to go too much into detail about this car since I've already done a thorough review on my personal F-Type, but on this we'll just quickly go over the differences on this particular car. So for starters, it is a 65 plate, so it is a Phase 1 denoted by these air intakes on the side, and of course those bi-xenons. This particular car does not have the black pack, so you get chrome around the grille, chrome on the side vents, chrome around the windows, and chrome on the rear badges. But this was from when even the black pack would have chrome on here. And of course, this is a V6 denoted by these twin tailpipes. And of course it has slightly different wheels and no red on the calipers. But just like on my personal one, it is deep dished at the rear. And the tail lights on this earlier one aren't as tinted. One last thing before we step inside the car, this particular one has the slightly more opened bonnet vents, exposing the supercharged emblem underneath. Coming inside now, and let's talk about the changes on this particular car. Firstly, if you can tell from where you're looking, are the seats. So it's leather on the bolsters and cloth on the inside. The Phase 1 also has a bigger opening for the center console cubby, so that can easily go in here. If this were to be a Phase 2 or a Phase 3, it would just be a flat net, but all three of them fit perfectly onto this cubby. And of course convertibles have a bigger opening on here. Yep, same armrest. Somebody left their jelly babies in here, and a Kinder card, and an Apple charger. This earlier one has a cover for the 12-volt socket, just like the one on the center console. On my one, it's 2 USBs. So let's put this back in. And just like on my one, the sunroof opens. Well, the cover for the sunroof does. Unfortunately, this one does not have the ultra suede headlining. It's got the standard one, but it's still fairly generous. Even the sun visors are still covered. The driver's side does not have a mirror. Does a passenger? Neither does a passenger. But these were added on to the Phase 2. This particular one does get very, very basic. This Phase 1 has a silver door handle, which does feel a lot more solid, and you got gloss black here. Personally, I still prefer having the silvers around here and then maybe having both of these in gloss black. Again, there's no stitch, well, there is stitching, but it's not contrast. The pedals are not in silver, and this particular one has no cruise control at all whatsoever. And it does have paddles, but they are plastic. The dials are exactly the same. The interior trim is a little bit more interesting. This does remind me of my XF, and it goes all the way down there. This is a Phase 1, but it's a Phase 1.5, so it does not have the bronze starter, and it has some silver detailing around here and on here and even here. And this particular V6 does not have the active exhaust. Because this does not have the performance seat, there is no extended leather on here, but it is a soft touch plastic. This earlier car does not come with frameless mirror, nor does it have heated seats, nor a heated front windscreen. And this particular car has the exact same infotainment system as my old XF. So there's no reverse camera, which would have been here. It is slightly laggy, and they do take a while to respond. And if you look at it from an angle, it's also quite upright, so the lower tabs are a little bit trickier to get hold of. And of course, we're on the A40 between Gloucester and Ross, and the home button's all the way over there. Okay, so that's the exterior and the interior done now. This particular seat does not have the seatbelt holder, so I have to reach all the way over there. There we go. And now let's give it a spin. Of course, foot on the brake. Sat a bit too far back, so let's... Oh. Okay, it does have electric seats, but it does not go forwards and back. Is there a lever underneath? Yes, there is. So it's part electric, part manual. Still too far away. There we go. This car does still have an electric steering column. And yes, it still has auto. So let's put this to my desired position. Leave it in auto just in case. And start the car. Even without the active exhaust, it sounds much nicer than the P300. Let's give it a rev. There's a soft limiter at 3,500 revs. So let's get this on the road. It's not the most appropriate weather. So here we go. Onto the A40. Some mild traffic on the road. Luckily this car does have stop-start. And it's also raining, which is not very appropriate for rear-wheel drive. So let's put into rain, ice, snow. See how this works. Edge. Oh, even more people coming. Oh, this one's coming this way, so here we go. Picks up much better. And I'm currently on manual already. Let's put it back into auto. Let's see how it cruises. Let's get the vehicle information. It's not too loud, it's not very intrusive. This car has been averaging 27.7 mpg, which is still very decent for a 3 litre. Oh, lots of surface water. Rides fairly well. It's a little bit shakier than the 300, but this is an early car, so they probably slowly learn to soften them up. Due to the basic seats, they're not wingback, so on tighter roundabouts I may move side to side. It still copes well in traffic. The paddles do feel a bit basic compared to the silver ones on mine, and in fact my silver ones aren't even metal. They too are plastic. but I certainly missed the cruise control on this particular V6. The steering wheel is also round on this particular one, but I know many people opt for the flat bottom. This particular car, the only option is basically the sunroof and the automatic gearbox. I would like to see how a manual V6 drives, so if there's anyone out there with a manual V6, especially in the West Country, please feel free to tell me about your experience. Coming to a roundabout now, so let's see how this car copes. A fairly busy roundabout as well. There we go. Put it back into normal mode, see how that works. Yep, picks up very well, but these seats I feel like I'm going to fall off. And there we go. Very nice soundtrack, and it just gave a few pop and bangs as well. Just quickly pulled up on a lay-by to take some beauty shots, potentially for the thumbnails. So let's head back on the road and let's put it onto dynamic. So brutal, it took the camera off its mount. The fun factor is definitely a lot higher. Definitely something you want to drive around here in these twisty roads in the Forest of Dean. And one thing I really appreciate is that it's still quite manageable on these mundane speed limits. It feels effortless to do 60. It can hold it there if it had cruise control. Let's see how good this one is. Once again, I pulled up at another lay-by on the oncoming side. Let the traffic pass through. Yep, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Back into dynamic, so let's floor it. That camera is not staying once the supercharger kicks in. The supercharger also makes a really nice noise too. So in terms of everyday availability, I'd say that it's closely matched to the P300. Maybe the P300 just edges it, but in terms of soundtrack and fun factor, this one easily wins. So let's get this back. Really good on those turns as well. Some more. And we're back at the compound, so let's finalize this video. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching me experience the V6 F-Type, even in this questionable weather here in the Forest of Dean. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you are new, ring the bell to stay up to speed, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.